Hello, crochet crafters. Today we're doing an intermediate to difficult project, and it is a cotton trivet, and we're going to be working 4 of these into each other to make a trivet. And we're using a Capri Echo Cotton, recycled cotton loops and threads yarn, a 4-ply, and we're also using a size G USA crochet hook. If you want to use a smaller one, you can. And I also recommend that if you use a larger one, that you use a thicker yarn as well. Cotton is preferred because if you are actually using this as a trivet or for your table or as a pot holder, you want to make sure that it doesn't burn or show burn marks. And if you've ever had a pot holder that's acrylic, has some acrylic or some rayon or something in it, it will show those burn marks on this. So what we're going to do is when you initially make one of these, you're not connecting them, but as you start to make 2, 3, and 4, you have to work those into the other ones. So we're going to make one of these right now, and I'm going to show you how to do that. What you want to do is get your yarn onto your crochet hook, and then you're going to loosely crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's imperative is that that first one is looser than the rest, because that's the one we're going to be working in that will eventually make this circle. And if you don't have it, if you have it too tight, you won't be able to put your crochet hook back through it. So once you've got that done, you're going to go ahead and make a triple crochet before you go back into that first crochet chain. So you want to wrap it around your hook once and twice like that, and you're going to put it through that first loop, pull it through, and you're going to wrap it around, pull it through the first 2, wrap it around, pull it through the second 2, wrap it around, and pull it through the third 2. Now, that is sometimes called a treble, triple. It depends on what country you're from and how you're making this. But this chain right here is actually going to be a triple stitch. We're going to treat it as a triple stitch. So I call it my invisible triple. That's just my own little call for it. But we need 6 stitches. Well, we already have 1 and 2, so we need 4 more of those triples. So I'm going to count as I wrap it through the first 2, I wrap it through the second 2, I wrap it through the third 2. Now I have 3 stitches. I wrap it through the first 2, I wrap it through the second 2, I wrap it through the third 2. Now, if you're having problems making a treble stitch, you can hold this right here and give yourself a pull. So when you're pulling, if you need to hold it with your fingers and then pull on it so that you have some tension on your yarn, because if you're not used to doing treble stitches, they are difficult. So I'm not going to try and imagine what you're going through, but it does take a little bit of skill set to learn those. If you haven't done that and this is a project you want to try, you may want to practice that for a little bit. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this is my invisible triple stitch, but it's actually counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to do 1 more to have a set of 6. So that's my first set of what I call 6 trebles. And once you have that, you want to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And once you've chained 5, you're going to go ahead and count. Now that first treble stitch is really difficult after you've just chained 5, and now you've got to create a triple stitch without having a lot of tension on that or a lot of looseness. So you really have to kind of just hold the yarn and pull it through. The second one becomes easier, but I know that first one after creating that corner. And what you've just done is you've created a corner stitch with those 5. So that's going to be your first like corner stitch that we do some fun things with. So you need 6 of these. And it doesn't hurt to go back and just count after you've really done the 6, just to make sure. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that chain is 6. So you've got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's going to be another corner. A little tight there, sorry about that. And we need to go back into the same space. Now, if you find you're not having room, just pull it over like that. Now, some people prefer to create, rather than this stitch method, they like to do a magic chain. And I tell you, I don't like to have to deal with holding a magic chain and trying to manipulate a treble stitch and trying to tighten up a magic chain after the fact. So that's why I just don't feel that a magic chain works in this instance, because then you have to like tighten it up afterwards, and you have to like hold that to make sure the magic chain's not coming unloose, and it just seems like too much of holding things. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm counting to make sure I have 6. I've done that before where I've gotten done and I've only done 5, and I've done 4, or I haven't counted right. So it never hurts to make sure that you count to make sure you have those 6. And then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's that corner. And then we're going to do one more set of the treble crochets, 6s. So we need 6 of these again. And again, that first one is a little bugaboo because you've got to really hold it tight because you've already created those chains and it wants to come loose. I realize that. So my cotton yarn is really making a little cotton squeaky noise. 4, 5, and 6. 6. Now you need to do 5 more chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you need to close that up, and that's what you have your first round. Now I'm not worrying. Normally I would try to work a tail back into my work. I'm not going to worry about that right now because there's just too much going on with this stitch. So count up from 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th loop, the front and the back loop, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch, and that closes up your square. So you should, if you lay that flat down, what you can do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you've got 5 pointers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 pointer here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 5 pointer here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 5 pointer. And if yours looks like this and you've slip stitch it, then you're ready. You're good to go to the next round. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So if you haven't followed me thus far, you may want to stop and work and practice, and then we'll then come back to this. So when you get to this, we're going to do another fake chain treble stitch. So you're going to chain 4, and that's going to be your fake treble. It is going to count as your first treble stitch. And what you're going to do is you're going to be working, if you lift your work like this, you're going to be working under the front and back loop. Now there's a loop, there's a piece down here. You want to make sure you're working between that front and back, and you're not going down here. You want to make sure you're working just under the front and the back loops, because if you pull that from down here, you will ruin your work. So you've created your first treble stitch And what you're going to do is you're going to do 4 more, and you're going to do the 4 more under 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're not going to touch the 5th one right here, and you're going to say why, but I'm going to show you why. So what you want to do is you want to do a half treble. So as you've done before, you've got a treble starting to go, but if you've already done a treble, take it out, because you're only going to do 1 and 2. You're only going to pull through the first 2, and then you're going to leave those on. So you've done a half treble stitch, and that is on your hook. Now you're going to wrap it around twice again, and you're going to go under the back and front loop like I showed you, pull it through, wrap it around, pull it through the first 2, pull it through the second 2, and now you have 3 on your hook, okay? Now you want to wrap it around again, pull it through those first front and back loop, wrap it around, pull it through the first 2, the second 2. So you have 4 on your hook, and you've created 3 triples, and you have a fake chain triple. Now you're going to do 1 more. So this is 4 actual half triples that you've got on your chain. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. So if you pull yours together, yours should look like that with your triples and your fake triple. Now you might say, but Lori, we still have 1 more to do here. That's going to be another fakie. That's going to be another fake chain triple, and I'm going to show you how that's going to work. So what you want to do next is, now you have your 5 loops. You're going to wrap it around, and you're going to take that and pull it through all 5 to come up with this little funky point. And once you've done that, you've come up with that funky point, you want to go chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go back through these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to go back through these front loops like so. You have 5 of them. Wrap your yarn around and pull it through and chain 1, double crochet. So then you've got this, like this funky, it looks like a funky loop right there. But don't worry, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be your last, what I call treble crochet, but it's your fake treble, and you're going to go into this stitch and you're going to slip stitch. So just slip stitch. So basically what you've done is, if you put this down, I'm going to show you the methodology for this. This is the hook up here that you've created to attach the other work to. So when we attach, this is actually 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what you've done to create those 6 is you've got 2 fake trebles on the ends and 4 real triple/trebles in the middle. So what I would say to you is that as you go through, just remember that's what we're going to do for the other 3 sides here. We're going to do a fake 4 real trebles, but they're half trebles on the stitch, and then we're going to do 4 down here after we create this funky thing. And I'm going to go through every single one with you so that you will get used to it. Now, what do we do with the corners? First of all, when we go to the corner now, we're going to go under the corner and just do 3 singles. So you're going under the corner. And if you've done all that other fancy work, then 3 singles are easy to do under that. So you've done 3 singles, and then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 more singles. Now, what does that do? That gives you the point, a little point that you can grab your other yarn onto, and I'm going to show you the methodology behind that. So you've got a little point. This has got a little point. And what you want to do is when you finish your chain, you want to go into it and you want to slip stitch. Now, we're going to do the same thing here that we did over here, and I'm going to go slow. So underneath, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're not going to go under that one. So we're just going to go under those 4 after we chain. We're going to chain a 1, 2, 3. That's our fake treble. And then we're going to do a half treble, 1 and 2, our half treble, right? And we still got 2 on the hook. And then under that one, we're going to do our half treble, 3 on the hook, our half treble, 4 on the hook, another half treble, and you know, I don't like that one, so I'm going to undo it. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you've come across, see how the yarn kind of separated a little bit? And if you don't like the way something looks, then there's no reason to take that you have to keep going. You can undo it so that it can come out perfect. So I've got my fake chain treble, my real 4 trebles, and I've got how many stitches up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or how many, I should say, yarn pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 loops. And I still have this one right here. And that's for my last fake, which will equal 6. My fake chain treble. So wrap it around and pull it through. Give yourself that pointy, pointy look. 1, 2, 3, and 4 for your point. And then you're going to go back through those 5 again. And you're going to just chain 1 as you come out of there. And then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's your fake treble, which goes into that last thing. And then you slip stitch your fake treble. So there you go. There's your fake treble. Now what do? This is the easy part. Got a little bit of yarn right here. Easy part is going and working under that a single crochet 3 times. 3 times. And then you count for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 3 times. I have to tighten that a little bit. You know what? Let me go back. After I've counted the 3, my yarn wasn't tight, and you've got to go back under and do a single crochet. And you don't want your yarn all loosey-goosey. All right, so now I've got basically 2 of these funky points done and 2 of these funky points done. So I still have 2 more to do. And we're back at this one, and we're going to go ahead and slip stitch under. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what you want to make sure, again, is when you're going under, we're going to do how many half a trebles? We're going to do 4. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to leave this last little one alone. I feel like it's like 5 little piggies, and this is the very last one. But anyways, you want to wrap it around and go under the front back loop and do your half treble. And when you do a half treble, you've got 2 loops on your hook. And we're going to be doing 4 half trebles, remember, which will give you 5 loops on your hook because you have your fake one on there, your fake chain. So when you get to there, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to wrap it around and pull it through and make your funky point again in that chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to go back through these loops again, picking up the loops, pulling it through, and chain 1, and then 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and 4, and that's your fake end of your 6. So if you're concerned, just make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we're good to go. So what do we do next? Well, we do 3 single crochets around that chain, and then we count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we do 3 single crochets again. And we're on the last set of these funky ones. You'll be like, yay, so glad, I'm so glad. So what we're going to do is slip stitch down like we did before, and we're doing our fake chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what do we want to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to do 4 half double crochets underneath the front and back loops. Not 4, I'm sorry, 4 half treble crochets. I apologize. We're not doing doubles, we're doing trebles today. And if you've done a double on accident, guess what? You can take it apart. So when you get to this is the last funky one, you should have how many on your hook? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have that one left here for your fake 6th treble crochet. So you want to wrap it through and do your funky loop. Chain 1, and then 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to go back through these little top. You're using the top, hopefully you're using these top pieces only. You're not touching the bottom ones. And that's creating that hook that you're going to be able to add your other pieces onto. So now you're going to do your 4 to make your fake treble. And then your fake treble is going to go into that right there, slip stitched. Oh. So that's the last one like that. Now we have one more to do here, and then after we're done with this one, we're going to go ahead and sew our pieces, our tails back in. So we did 3 stitches, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, and when you come to the end, you're at the end of your work. You want to make sure when you're slip stitching your last piece in that you're going before and under that fake chain right there to slip stitch, because you don't want to do it inside of any of these, because it will ruin the look of your piece, because you'll be tearing at that. So you want to cut it off, and I'm going to let you work that in on your own, and then my next video is going to show you how to connect the pieces together. So before you go forward and actually, because as you create your next one, you're going to be intertwining them for the connectivity of the 2 pieces together. So that's my next video, and I will see you shortly. Thanks for watching Lori's Handiwork on YouTube.